Hello everyone, welcome to an pets, parents, pet health, animal health general reading for July. So this is just a check-in on our pets, see what their soul energies, their angels energies, just want us to be mindful of or talk to their vet about, just help us in their overall well-being and care. So treating this like a pick a card. So I don't know if you're drawn into, card number 1 here. This is sort of the really nice kind of iridescent Alice in Wonderland deck. So that might be attracting your attention. Maybe you're seeing some of your pet personality there. Or there's a connection to Alice in Wonderland in terms of their level of curiosity, maybe, and mischief. Innocence in terms of learning, or maybe you're more drawn to our Knight of Cups here, the horse, more illustrative, kind of that flat 2D book style, still colorful, vibrant. I'm an organic reader, so you are going to see me move the charms, clear the cards, etc. So once you've tuned into a card, you can use the timestamps below if you just want to skip ahead to those messages. Otherwise, we'll start with anyone who's been tuning into card number 1 here. We'll start with this deck of cards. Maybe I'll put her over here. Okay. And let's start with our charms. Get an idea of what our pets, sort of the collective general kind of overall health and well-being, where they just want us to be mindful of. We got some movement here. I think anxiety, nerves, yep. So we've got some anxious puppies, kitties, bunnies, birds, something, lizards, snakes, whatever you may have. Guinea pigs. Okay. Don't worry, I'll make sure I go around the chart, just make sure everything feels like it's where it should be. Okay. Fixing up here. Interesting, we got focus on focus. Focus on this, focus on this. That feels intentional, so we're gonna leave that like that. Okay, and then we got a bunch of nervousness here. I'm gonna try to keep them all here in the pile, so you are gonna see me pile them up here. So I know that they all belong there. And now let's get our companion cards and get more clarity here on our pet's health for July. Just what do we need to focus in here? Now, I don't know if those sirens in the background, I don't know if the camera's picking them up, but ever since I started with pile number 1 here, sirens have been kind of going off here like crazy. So I don't know if your pets are the collective of pets that enjoy joining in, singing along, mimicking the alarm, or maybe they're just very vocal, talkative pets. So they're ready to start talking to you here now about their health. Their soul energy is coming through loud and clear. Okay, I'm just gonna tune in here. I think we might start over here in this pile of charms on top of the nerves. Sort of, it says nervous system, but I'm really just feeling nerves, anxiety, nerves, anxiousness. Maybe that's why they're the group of animals that will quickly mimic, and that might be a sign of their nervousness and their anxiety. Maybe that's why the alarms were going off, making me think of them kind of chiming in and kind of howling along, or like I said, mimicking along if they're birds. So in terms of their anxiety right now, it's interesting that they're giving me the confidence charm on top of the anxiety. So I don't know if you've been noticing an improvement, if that's an area you've been working on with your pet, just helping them to relax better. You know, maybe you've introduced lavender scents into the home. Maybe you've changed up their sleeping arrangements. Maybe you just moved. You know, maybe you're in a place that's quieter. Maybe you're not around sirens like we were just hearing in the intro. But there's this nice move out of the anxiety here into more confidence, or at least some displays of confidence. You know, especially if you just took in a stray or an adopted pet who may have, you know, suffered some trauma, you might be seeing some displays of confidence and trust in you coming about here. So that's beautiful to see. They're pairing that with peace and love. So additional messaging here about the starting to feel comfortable, starting to relax, or have more moments of peace and quiet and relaxation. I mean, if this is a pet with a nervous system, this could be confirmation that any medications that your pet is on to help them is helping them relax. It is giving them the calm they want. If what do they show me here? Like, for example, if your animal had seizures, I guess is what I'm seeing here, and now the medication is helping them to relax. And I don't know why my hand is itchy here all of a sudden. I don't know, maybe your pet's scratching. So it's interesting how on the nerves here we have the yarn that, you know, kind of looks like our nervous system, the pathways, okay, sort of running throughout the body, right, and intertwined with our muscles. If anything, maybe just be mindful and see if your pet has maybe a pinched nerve. You know, make sure they didn't just stumble, because it's a little squeeze here, right, on the muscle where the nerve runs through. So maybe just, you know, animals have the sciatic too, I believe, right, that we have. It runs through our legs and up our back. So maybe your pet, you just need to be mindful. Maybe check their hip area and along their spine, and just make sure there's no tenderness there. So just be mindful. But mostly this is about coming out of anxiety here, state of nervousness, so always on a state of preparedness and caution, and kind of feeling more relaxed, more confident, more trusting. And then we have the beautiful, what goes around comes around. And this is really like good karma. You know, what you put out there is coming back to you here. So I don't know if that's the kind of relationship, or the kind of bond, the amount of caring that you've been showing them, right? Because I've been seeing them coming out of their shell. They're more trusting. So you've been showing them patience and calmness and love and comfort and safety. And what they're coming out with, what they're coming around with to you, back around to you, is love and comfort and trust. So that's a pretty beautiful shift here in energies for them in July. And health-wise too, especially if an animal's starting to relax, or your pet's in recovery, kind of relaxing from this either, you know, slightly pinched nerve, or squeezed, kind of pulled muscle or squeezed muscle here. Okay, let's see what they paired these with. I kind of feel like that's a love letter here, you know. But I kind of feel like it's backwards in the fairy tale of Kissing the Frog Prince. It's kind of like, you know, I found, you know, I wasn't really trusting of you in the beginning, but I I kind of found you, and here's like the love note. Okay, let's see. Now I'm pausing because I don't know if they're trying to tell me if this is the variety of pets right now, the pet parents. Like if we have the birds, because I saw the mimicking when the siren was coming by. And then I also mentioned like gerbils and kind of the smaller breed domestic animals. And then we have our reptiles here, right? With the frog. So maybe this is a variety of animals, kind of new animals being introduced into the family here, and their like I said, their nervousness, their anxiety, their shyness is starting to shake off here, especially with the bird over here. Look how confident, right? Like, this is my family now. You know, I've chosen you. Just like I saw in the first card here when I flipped it over. You know, I've chose you. Here's my love letter to you. And a lot of hugging here. A lot of just patient, quiet, just a lot of hugging. So just more communication here, but the patience you put in with them and sort of them kind of hugging you and thanking you back, kind of helping them through their nervous state. You know, this could have just even been like tense stomach, tense muscles that are starting to relax now as their nerves relax, right? As we start to feel better, our stomachs feel better. Okay, so you gave them love and showed them patience and confidence, and now it's coming right back around to you. Okay. You know, I never even started with the first card, but as I was saying, what goes around comes around, they were pulling me into the you are rare and free. You know, kind of the sentiment that these animals were giving me. Sort of the different kind of caring owner you are based on what they've previously experienced or what they were expecting. And just how easy, like I said, the free, right? They're comfortable, they feel safe with you. Okay, wonder how that's going to connect with the rest of the messaging here. So we have a message here of what you need to start doing. Ooh, almost fell out of my hand there. And this is my charm about influence. So I don't know if this is the angels kind of coming in here on your pets' messages to say now's a good time to start with the training, or the next level of the training, kind of the next level of bonding and communication here, because this is influence. So this would be you influencing them, right? Influencing their behaviors, helping them make good decisions, showing them how to play, right? So if you need to start doing this, then this is a time to work with this group of animals to start influencing more positivity out of them, you know, more engagement, more socialization. Now, I had said that this felt appropriate here, and it is touching lower body, and back here on the nerves here, I was talking about the hip or a pinched muscle, pinched nerve, just a tender spot. So maybe as you're petting them, to see if there's any tender spot, especially with play during summer months. You know, it's easy to be running full speed or take a little tumble. You know, they miss steps too, just like we do. And it's pointing towards work environment. So this would be not in the home. So this is a second environment for your pets. All of us spend our times in two primary areas. So this would not be injury at home, like I was saying. If they're out kind of running full force in the park and take a tumble, or if they're in the backyard, if they're in their cage and they're, you know, going up a step or something. So just be mindful. Just watch them this month. See if they're catching anything, you know, in between their paws or in their feet, in their wings. But just focus in on this area. I just feel like it's a minor little thing here that's that may happen outside of the home, outside of their primary kind of cage facility, you know. Okay. So this is an interesting kind of communication thread in terms of, you know, you're right to, in order to move forward, and it says to focus in on this. So I don't know if you've been wondering if you should talk to your vet about something regarding your pet's care. It could just be a question like, are they ready to go camping with us, right? You know, can we take them outdoors? We're noticing a positive change. You know, are they ready yet? So, you know, there's a trust your intuition here. Trust your gut. You know, kind of follow your gut. Trust in your gut. And then we move up to just health challenges to be aware of. Time to acknowledge your pains. So maybe you have noticed already sort of this possible tender muscle, sort of this lower body, or you know your animal's breed is predisposed to maybe something in that area. So they are saying just follow your gut. You know, watch your animal's body language here. That's what this charm is telling me. See how the cat's kind of stretching out and laying on its back. So just watch for any, you know, like again, it would be like a small limp if there's something in their toes, or you know they're laying on a different side that's not usual for them, right? Or just be cautious how they're laying. You know, just like little children, animals can fall asleep in awkward positions that might hurt their neck or cause a foot or leg to fall asleep. So definitely trust your gut. You know what you're looking for and what you're watching for here. So then we have a message here about a solution for balance. This charm's all about finding a nice balance. Maybe this is a balance to your relationship, balance to their routine, their rhythm. So we know the solution is probably to start working on that with them right now. It says right now, start working on this. So, you know, they're ready to receive and get in with the home routine, right? The family routine. And coming back to trusting your gut, you know, with the answers in your dreams, you know, with the, you know, change of the seasons, you're now in a period of change with your pet. Your pet's going through a period of change. So this is opportunistic for you. This is the next evolution, right? The leaf falls off and we have a sort of the next plumage comes out, the next foliage comes out. So you're heading into this next stage, this next beautiful phase here with your pet. You know, and finding the balance to their routine, so they're not going back to this nervous anxiety state. And you know, when animals are anxious or nervous or scared, they can you know, hurt their legs, their paws, their wings, you know, bump their heads, right? So that's really kind of this watch out here. Let's see. Oh, look, becoming braver. Didn't I say that? Didn't I say they're starting to come out, right? More confident. So, you know, accident prone to newfound curiosity and bravery. And then we have curiosity over here, such a curious dream. You know what? Maybe watch your pet while they're dreaming. You know how sometimes feet twitch. They might shake awake and slip off the furniture, or they might doze off and maybe fall off their perch. So maybe that's where this little minor, you know, muscle bruise is coming in as they start to, you know, maybe climb higher, get closer to the edge of things. And dozing off here, you know, especially with the afternoon sunshine, afternoon after a day of play. Just kind of watch that, see how their legs and their feet and their wings are all kind of hanging off. Just kind of watch that as they're dozing off here. But I feel like because you already have it in your gut here, you may have already noticed a few instances but it's probably because they're going through this growth phase here with you, either in the trust and the bond, or even just growth in terms of age here, right? They might be going through some growing pains, and as they get taller, right? They might be getting, legs might be getting longer and awkward and for them and stuff. So very, very nice to see that it's lighthearted, you know. Definitely don't want to see issues with our pets, but I like seeing the bond improve and their confidence and their trust and their safety and your care really improving. And then just sort of the little minor bumps and bruises that can possibly happen here with their curiosity and their confidence growing. So that's fantastic. That's great. I'm going to go ahead and transition to card number 2. Group number 2. So if you weren't attracted to that card, you can pop away now. I'm just going to set it up here because I am an organic reader. Let's see if I get that on camera. Clear the charms. We're going to need some fresh charms. Okay. All right, so welcome pile number 2, or those of you attracted to card number 2. We're going to go ahead and get the charms first. And this will give us a sense of where the conversation is going to be for our pet's health for July, just what we need to watch for, maybe talk to our vets with at their checkups. So we'll just hang out over here for a second. Got some movement. Okay. We got some more movement, so I'll come back. Guess they weren't ready to leave yet. I feel like something's moving, but maybe it's just getting ready for the next section. Okay, let's see what else they want. Oh, I'll move that one back. Okay. I'm just fixing them up. That just helps me kind of tune in here, make sure everything's in the spot where they want them. Okay, so we've got chest, heart. Could just be cardio, so don't get, try not to get too nervous. We'll start at the very high level symptoms, right, to watch for. Okay. Now we'll get the cards, get clarity on the messages, and then we'll dive in and see what we want to talk to, or I guess talk about related to your pet's health. Doesn't matter what kind of pet you have, domestic, you know, it could be a farm pet. Could be wildlife that you made friends with. That's, you know, somewhat your buddy now, your pet. Guess we'll see here and see how the cards are falling here. Got kind of three groupings here. And just want me to kind of push in here, get this one out. Okay. All right. Okay, so group number 2. So I didn't start with this card in the first group, but maybe I'll start here for those of you that tuned into this card. It looks like there's information incoming here. Maybe it's the information you're getting through this reading, or you're waiting for information to come into you regarding your pet here. We'll see here what this info is, what this clarity is. Maybe you were drawn to this reading. Maybe you have a gut feeling about something. Okay, let's see. I'll just start right here in front of me. So we have focus on lower body. We have a yes from the angels and the animal soul energy. So again, for those of you that I think, oops, we're already coming here looking for clarity, I think maybe you have an inkling that there might be something in sort of the lower half. You know, maybe your pet's limping a little bit, or maybe they're favoring the lower half of their body, licking, nibbling. I mean, they could just be looking at it, like when they look at you and then they kind of look down or look back. But they're giving, they're pairing that with the reminiscing charm here, memories. So maybe look back, maybe this is a previous injury that is resurfacing, or this new bruise maybe is from a former injury. There's a memory here. There's a call back to the past, to remember when. It could just be informing you of when the issue took place, the situation took place that triggered it. Kind of remember when this happened. That's when, yes, you're right. That's when I, you know, got the rock in my foot. You know, what you need to start doing. There's an ask for help. So ask for support. So maybe you just need to, you know, call up the vet or talk to your other pet parents and see if they have a similar situation, similar experience. But it's probably calling up the vet, especially if it's go back to the past here. Maybe it's letting them know you're kind of seeing something again, or you got a gut feeling, and can you just get them to look at them again? Let's pull up the history. What did we do again? You know, sometimes we just forget what the treatment was. So sometimes we just need to go back to the vet and be like, oh, right, I remember now. I did X, Y, Z last time this happened. Okay. So let's see here. So it's interesting we have the cup again, but see how you were looking for information and clarity? Well, here he is holding it. You know, so there is an expert out there with the king. So you have probably the vet, an expert out there, right? Somebody else specializes in your species, in your breed, who's going to have the answers there for you. Who's going to have the clarity for you. So you're going to be moving from this place of kind of inaction, sort of not really knowing what to do and should I do anything, sort of contemplative, I guess I should say, state. You know, you're slowly moving forward, but at a pace because you can't really see where you're going in a snowstorm, right? But you get your clarity here, and then look at how active you get. Okay, now I know the plan. Now I know what to do, just like I was saying. Oh yeah, I remember last time I came to you about this issue, we did X, Y, Z, right? So you just put that plan into action here. So there's something that you're aware of, and you just need to go back and get that, kind of recall that memory up. Bring that information back to the forefront for you. I mean, it could be an update on like a better way to do something, you know, an improved method, right? Because I'm seeing the kind of walking here, but not much progress. But then there's amazing just energy up here and movement. Very contrast to down here. So it could have been waiting on test results. Like I said, you've been waiting on information clarity. So maybe, you know, the vet calls you up or the expert calls you up and says, hey, we've got this, and now we can get started. You know, your wait's over here. We can get started. But there's something from the history, from the past. Yes, you're right. It's connected to lower body, and there's this ask for help. The sort of expert's going to come in with the information you need here for your pet. Okay. Let's just go to the middle here. So we had upper chest area with the kind of heart health here, but it's paired with change your perspective on this. Kind of expect the unexpected charm. This is good favor. This is abundance. This is a surprise. So maybe you're thinking it's this area of the body, but it's actually lower area of the body. So again, remember, kind of go back to the past. But I see some good favor here in terms of, you know, cardio, heart health, lung health, breathing, you know, rhythm of the heart. There's either a positive turn of events if your animal's on a treatment plan right now. You know, maybe they're on a bit of a diet regime. Maybe they're more active with you right now and you're losing weight, but they're, like I said, you know, there's a positive surprise here, turn of events. So I'm not feeling any negativity in sort of their heart health, upper chest area, if that's a concern for you, because, you know, they are bringing it forward to you. So some of you may be watching that, especially in the summer months, you know, when you're outside playing or they're being active, and just make sure they're not overheating and the water's there. But, you know, it seems fine. Connected to that, however, you know, they're saying, you know, blood tests can help. This is all about kind of being unique, like swimming upstream, but this is a pet health reading. So this would be uniqueness in your pet's sort of makeup. So maybe these are pets that are not purebred, so maybe they're a mix of something, and therefore they're quite unique, you know, and therefore just having a, you know, if you are curious or worried, you could just do a blood kind of workup on them, sort of maybe a DNA, and break that down, break down their species. That it says it can help, so that might be the key to the information. If you kind of do like those human DNA kits where we're all learning the various makeup of cultures that are kind of in our ancestry and are now in our chromosomes. So you may want to do the same kind of DNA test on your pet and just kind of learn, you know, what makes them unique so that you're aware. That'll be the kind of missing information for you, so you know exactly what they are, you know. Then we have fracture and fall with Bambi here, which is my charm of like sort of wobbly legs. Obviously she's kind of new on her footing here. So you may want to just watch for any kind of tumbles. Just be aware of any tumbles. Make sure your environment, your pet's environment, is as free as obstacles as possible if your animal is kind of prone to slipping and sliding as they're moving about and playing around. So just be aware of the tumble. I'm not really feeling fracture because it is just my Bambi, so it's just more of like, you know, tumbling, learning how to go up and down steps. Like I said, energetic play, and as they try to turn too fast, you know, kind of skidding out. Okay. I'm loving how these cards are falling out. Look, the first card again is receipt of news, right? Here we are. You know, the cups aren't the only sign in the deck, and yet the first card out is the type of news you're receiving, the kind of information you're receiving here. So with respect to this group, you know, I am drawn to her red dress. I know we were talking about blood tests could help. You know, she's kind of holding the insight, right? The nugget. Here's the chromosome maybe that you need to be aware of. You know, your species part rabbit. You know, it's a dog rabbit. I don't know. But sort of the reconfirmation here that, you know, DNA could hold a key here for you. Same with how she's kind of looking at all the different wands, and you know how we pull kind of the DNA chromosomes apart, or the lab does, really, right? So you're expert. So, you know, sending out the swab, sending out the kit, sending the request out to kind of look at this genetic makeup kind of holds the key here. I'm not sure why you're all interested in their genetic makeup, or if you're not believing that their heart health, lung health is okay, maybe the surprise to you is sort of that missing link in terms of the uniqueness of your pet. You know, maybe there's a breed in them that is really strong in this area, right? Maybe you have a pug, for example. So you're worried about heart and lung health, as you know, any pug owner would be as they age. But maybe you didn't know your pug is part, I don't know, Malinois. I'm not sure how to say that. I can see it spelled correctly. You know, and they have good heart and lung health. I don't know. So there's something here in the DNA to help you feel comfortable in terms of this area here, because they're unique. Your pet's unique. You've got a unique one, which is beautiful. Okay, and then this last kind of group of messaging up here. Let's see. Listen to your body's message and cleanse your body of this. And we've got health on top of that. So physical health. So nutrition, diet does play a role in physical health. Now this is an ending. Closure starts a new beginning. So if we've got physical health, cleansing body, and something, start something. I'm going to put this down for diet. You know, listen to your pet's body language, right? We can see how their demeanor changes after they eat. You know, maybe they're getting more sluggish, because this is physical. So you're going to see physical change in them. You know, maybe they're drinking a lot of water, but they still seem, their thirst isn't quenched. You know, they're still wanting more and more and more water. So just pay attention to that. It is at the world, so it is in your environment. So it is in the home environment. It's part of their world in terms of, you know, what they're kind of ingesting here. I mean, it doesn't mean it's something you're feeding them. It could be something they're picking up and you don't know. So just kind of watch if they're licking plants, trying berries outside. They're in the garden. You know, see what they're kind of nibbling or tasting here, and kind of you know, help them to avoid it. Now this group, we didn't get the news, but I think it's because you can just be vigilant, right, in your environment. You know, just kind of follow them. See how she's kind of tracing their steps, right? I'm going to follow them every day and kind of mentally or actually physically journal down what did I see them eat, and when was the last time I saw that symptom. Okay, that must be tied to when they ate peanut butter, or you know, it's tied to when they stole the chicken off the table. And I'm laughing because I feel like before I got into the cards, I was saying over here they might be sneaking something, right? It's not the food you're giving them, but they might be sneaking something. So, you know, maybe you're working and they're stealing your lunch and you're not noticing, right? Stealing a fry, so now their salt content is too high. As I look at the really white horse here. So we always have to be mindful of our pets' sort of salt levels, right? So just be, you know, kind of watch them, see if you can track them a little bit. You know, maybe follow them for a week here and watch their symptoms and see what they're trying to sneak and get away with here, because it is having an impact physically on their health here. But, you know, if you can kind of get them to avoid and get them to stop it, you'll be perfectly fine here. So just another kind of soft little gentle caution to watch with your pet here, being sneaky, trying to enjoy some snacks here. So some beautiful readings here in both groups. Thank you for joining for July, and I'll see you all in August when we connect in on your pet's health.